Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome, everyone. So I invite you to raise your hand if you'd like to speak with me. But I wanted to, before I speak with any of you, I wanted to just make mention of something that's been coming up recently in meetings with people. And so I thought this evening just to ask you, how do you feel about simplicity? How do you feel about letting go? This is an interesting question when we are living in the modern world, isn't it? Because the modern world is so complex and seems to be becoming more complex all the time if we're paying attention to it. Or we have by necessity to, it seems, to live in a complex society or in a complex city kind of setting. So it can be useful to ask ourselves from time to time, how do I feel about simplicity now? And the reason I say that is because there's a certain kind of a feeling of simplicity that arises as we mature. And that's not necessarily a simplicity that says, I've given everything up, or now I need to push this away, or now I need to push that away, push away that relationship, push away that job, get a new job. I need to move to the country. I need to move somewhere quieter. Those are all external forms of simplicity, and they can be very, very helpful in sadhana. But of more importance, more significance, is the kind of simplicity that we experience when we're in a period of meditation like we just have been. When we sit, and one of the reasons we sit at the beginning of satsang is because a lot of people come into the space of Zoom with a lot of head activity, with coming out of busy lives. Even though it's a Sunday, people still are waking up with a residual from their week. And even though Sunday, for many of you, maybe not you personally, but for many of you, maybe a day off in some way, the mind is still busy with the activity of the week. And it hasn't really slowed down. So we try to start with this half an hour or so of quiet being together so that the mind has a chance to begin to slow down. Now, you may be one of those people who says, my mind is not slowing down. I sit here for the whole half hour and my mind is just crazy busy. I have this monkey mind and it's just always jumping around. But the interesting thing about the inquiry, about asking this question, who am I? What am I? What is aware here now? The interesting thing about this question is it undermines that activity. Now, it may not stop it. It's not even necessary that it stop it. If you know you are aware, then you also know that you are thinking. And whether it feels like it or not, there's a certain kind of a detachment that's beginning to happen. Many of you now have been participating in this satsang for a number of years. And you've started to notice that even though your lives may be in some way just as busy as it was before, maybe you're in a different project, or you've got a different thing going on, or you've started a new project, or you're writing a new book, or translating a new book, or you're involved in some sort of a project. But within yourself, there is that knows I exist, feels as though there is more space. feels as though there is a simplicity which has taken root in a certain way and actually affords you the opportunity to do what you're doing with more ease and more presence. So I'm not saying that simplicity involves leaving the world. I'm saying what it involves is leaving identification with whatever it is on the screen of awareness at this moment. Right now, all of these beautiful faces are on the screen of awareness for all of us. But nonetheless, looking around, I can see that most of you are quite happy to be here and quite able to know yourself as that simplicity that we've referred to as being consciousness or as silence. Of course, in satsang, it's a lot easier to not be disturbed by the complexity that's on the screen, and especially among this group where there's so much peace and so much quiet in the background, even though you may have something going on in your mind right now. If you're here, you've made the decision to drop into the background of simple, quiet silence. So that is really what's happening here. Everything else is just coming and going, impermanent and empty. And somehow, for this few minutes a week, you know that. And you keep coming back here. And my hope is that what you've begun to notice in your life is that even though you still continue with your daily activities, some of you are still working, some of you are not. But even if you're not working somewhere, you have daily activities. You take care of the body, you take care of your house, you look after your bills, you take care of the car, whatever it is. You look after the ones that you love. You devote time to people who need you in some way and benefit from your presence. I'm reluctant to call this work, but for those of you who know this experience, you know what I'm talking about. The great blessing of spending time with people, having these kinds of conversations. On one level, if you do it a lot, it can be referred to as work, but it's not really work, is it? It's not like sitting in an office somewhere. To be in the presence of the self is a great blessing and a great honor. And with that understanding comes the recognition that the days can still be quite busy, but there's a simplicity that underpins all of it, all of the activity and all of the motion. And whether or not you're in communication with someone, whether or not you're having a conversation, whether or not you are fixing food for someone who's come to visit you, whether or not you are sitting in silence in your house and nothing is coming up, the recognition that's there all the time is towards simplicity. Another word for simplicity in this setting is it's the movement toward the one. Simplicity, its opposite, is multiplicity. The mind which is not still and which has not realized its true nature to a much degree yet, continually goes out of habit toward multiplicity. And so it's always creating, it's always generating, it's wanting more, it's seeking more. It doesn't make any difference whether it's seeking a new Ferrari or it's seeking enlightenment, it's still seeking. And it's seeking with the same intensity. You may have noticed this, those of you who've been seeking for many years for the ultimate experience of enlightenment, that after a while you just exhaust yourself with it. This is because the self is not far away. Your self and your awake nature is closer than your breath. And when you're seeking for it, you're looking right past it. You're not allowing it to come and find you. You're so busy seeking it. So the experience of awakening to one's true nature is really the experience of allowing things to settle, allowing there to be a simplicity that begins to feel as though it's manifesting and has nothing to do with your level of activity. It's the kind of experience that comes when you're able to recognize, the mind is thinking right now, but you don't get involved. Do you know what I'm pointing at? Have you had this experience? Yes, many of you have. The mind can spin, but I am going nowhere. This leads to this experience of a simplicity that's headed toward unity. Because when everything simplifies in the mind of being, in the empty nature of awareness, that is the expression of one, the ultimate simplicity, that which is here now, undistracted by whatever appears on the screen of awareness, and sees what appears on the screen of awareness not as a problem, but as the dynamic display of consciousness itself, and so can love it all. The field of consciousness, the freedom of the field of consciousness, the vast space of the field of consciousness allows everything within it. Doesn't need to disagree, doesn't need to pursue anything within it. It's quite content to be here as nobody, going nowhere, doing nothing, seeking nothing. But it recognizes that the mind may have another idea for a moment or an hour or a day, and it may pursue something. This is fine. This is also being consciousness, isn't it? The mind is not separate from the self. So everything that's coming and going is simply coming and going. If you notice its empty nature, in other words, that it requires your attention to continue going, it cannot go if you take your attention off of it. Something can rise on in the field of awareness. You can see this very easily in meditation. Something can arise in the field of awareness. And if there's no reaching out and grabbing toward it, or no reaching out and trying to push it away, it simply loses energy and falls away on its own. So this is that tendency toward simplicity that I'm pointing to today. So this is one of the ways you can know whether you are maturing in your own sadhana, in your own practice, in your own inquiry, is that no matter what's going on throughout your day in the field of awareness, whether it's something or nothing, big or small, the feeling is one of, I'm living quite the simple life now. When I look back on my life from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was much more complex. So maybe your life actually is simpler now, but certainly within your own mind, there is this recognition of simplicity that comes when you give up the search and give up the pursuit of things which are unreal in favor of the open heart of being consciousness, and are just willing to rest and allow what comes to come, stay for a while and go to go. This was Bhagavan Ramana's constant recommendation to people. Allow that which comes to come. Allow that which stays for a while to stay for a while, and allow that which goes to go. And when you take this up as a continuous practice until it becomes the natural way of your being, you realize that we only take up these practices for a period of time, and then we say, that's good, I like that. That's the way I think I'll just stick with this. And we become that way of being. We become another version, if you will, of the mind which we have. And then now we are watching that mind. We are witnessing that mind. We are seeing what is coming. We are aware of what is staying for a while. We are aware of what is going. And by doing this, we come to see ourselves as that silent simplicity that I'm pointing toward, that which is aware here in the background, prior to whatever is on the screen of awareness. And then we allow what's on the screen of the awareness to be there and to be loved and appreciated and accepted as the dynamic presence of consciousness itself. Not me, not mine. This is the self, all of this, coming and going as is its nature, and sometimes stopping, as is also its nature. Okay. What is there that needs to be clarified today? Anything? Or is everybody just completely zoned out, allowing everything to come and go in the presence of this supreme awareness?
Namaste,
I
Guruji.
got, yes, hello, Dika. Yes, please, welcome.
So I was waiting but one thing has been very clear that whatever looks like it's not there. I mean, you keep saying that nothing is really happening.
Not really there,
And
yeah.
yeah, but it's really not there. Like nowadays, I keep testing and experimenting whether it's there, checking its validity in some way.
How do you check and tell if it's there or not?
Uh, Nothing. It just poofs like a bubble once it's looked at.
I was going to say, that's exactly what I was going to point at. Yeah, as soon as you put your attention on something which isn't there, pop,
Yeah.
it's gone. It's not
It
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So uh, simplicity from our last conversation also has been a theme last few days for me.
You'll have to remind me. I think I don't remember really what the last conversation was. I'm sorry.
The context was that I'm changing houses, and you said
Ah,
you have to overplan, or you can do one thing at a time.
and
And yeah,
what's
I was able to
just,
simplify the process.
yes. How's that working?
So, not so great.
Okay.
Given given I'm in the circumstances, and that too alone, and I don't speak the language here, and logistics, I'm not doing
Yeah.
great. But I'm not doing bad either. But I'm not stressed about it. Like I'm still
Uh,
able to sit in silence with you and cook
yeah.
and my things, and yeah, so things are happening in their own pace. Probably my question is that how does this become my default? Because right now it's an effort.
How does what become your default?
Simplicity.
It is in the process of becoming your default. You can't really feel that, it sounds like, but when you
Yeah.
say, of course I know, everybody else doesn't know, but I was in the last conversation with you. So when you say to me, this is what's happening and this is what's happening and I'm doing so, but it's not so stressful. That is simplicity, which is blossoming. It's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because multiplicity takes every single, all of you know this, multiplicity takes every single little detail, every single little emotion, everything that goes right, everything that goes wrong, and makes a big deal out of it.
Mm.
So when we have to go through these times of a really busy period, and we're dealing with a lot of people and there's a lot on the table, and we can say, but it's not so stressful. This is the manifestation of whatever level of simplicity or silence you have in the background. It means you have in some way stepped back from the movie of your own life toward the screen on which the movie is appearing. And what you experience as that gap is what you are saying is less stressful. Because that gap is there,
Hmm.
the body mind experiences a simplicity or says it's less stressful.
Mm. Yeah, I probably need to acknowledge what is happening rather than what is not happening at all times.
Yeah,
I've
this is an important
been in my
part. Yeah.
struggle for a long time.
Yeah.
Acknowledge my progress is kind of difficult sometimes for me because I feel like I should
Yes.
just be relaxed fully, but I am not fully relaxed, but I'm not fully stressed either. I'm doing much better than all other times I've moved in my life.
Ah, that's so good. This is exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, so many people coming into the life of awakened living want there to be some sort of a big bang that just sort of changes everything immediately. But that is not really what happens for most people.
It's
Even
gradual.
Bhagwan, even Bhagavan said for him, people said, well, you know, it happened for you. You were 15 years old. You woke up one time and you stayed forever. And I want that too. I want that big bang moment. And he would look at people and just say, you have no idea what it took to get here. You have no idea how many lifetimes it might have taken, you know? And to get to this time where that big bang could happen. Experience tells me that for most people, this is a much more gradual process.
Hmm.
Opening is happening like this. Okay, I'm open here. Okay, wait. Oh no, that's too uncomfortable. Now I close a little bit. Okay, now I'm opening a little bit here. Okay, now I'm closing a little bit here. But over 5 years, over 10 years, you're living in a different world, actually.
Yeah, that I completely agree. To the values I lived by before, my fundamentals have shifted so much in just 1 year being with you. I don't even have to go back 10 years. It's just 1 year back when I moved here and how I am now are two absolutely different people
Yes.
and much more relaxed and like trusting life. But
Yeah.
like, I do want the Big Bang and I can see that as well. Um,
Well, I can tell you from the experience of this body mind that gradual enlightenment and sudden enlightenment are the same thing.
okay.
The reason I say that is that the experience of gradual opening, as an example like you're having now, when it resolves itself in the recognition of the self, the way it resolves itself is there's an immediate understanding that which needed to be done has been done.
Hmm.
And now I see that I have always been this.
Hmm.
So this self, which is closer than your own breath, is so present
Present, yeah.
that it
So
wipes out all of one's past experience and all of the times that one failed and all of the times that one was horrible to oneself and another. Mm, it's that example that's in the teaching of when you wake up from a dream in the morning, you wake up, you know immediately that was a dream. This
mm,
is the same. This is the same. You are in the dream, feeling as though this is taking a long time, or I'm having to put a lot of effort in this, or I'm having to, or this will never manifest as the truth in my case. All
mm,
these kinds of thoughts are going on. But the
yeah.
instant you realize the self as being consciousness is the same thing. There's an immediate, oh, I was in a dream. Now
Yeah,
I
it's
am awake.
binary in nature. It's a very binary process. There are no grays here. For me, at this point, I exactly know what's happening. And that's beautiful because that makes me relaxed in some way. I feel it is not confusing. I don't have any internal chaos to be organized. Earlier, there was so
No
much chaos.
internal chaos to be organized. I
Yeah,
like that.
I used to spend so much time to organize my chaos and then comb it out, then soothe
Keep it
my,
under control. Yeah.
yeah, like process my emotions and sit in the fire. I am a living therapist for 10 years, so I do this for others. I
Yeah.
did myself. And suddenly I've lost all meaning to that process. Now
Yeah.
it's binary, is 0 and 1, and I want one.
Yeah.
That desire uh, comes up, and then of course wanting the big bang, or um, also to see that the real will see the real and the unreal will see unreal. It,
Yes.
that's the insight I feel what's coming up. Like
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
I can see what's happening. I'm fully aware, and I'm with you when you say that. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, within these slow, it's excruciatingly slow, incremental progress
Ah. Ah.
sometimes, and I judge that process a lot, and then I come back from that also. It also goes
Incrementally slow, but you talk about, yeah, at the same moment you talk about how much your life has changed in just the
1 year.
last few months. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it's incrementally slow to the mind that wants absolute freedom, but
yeah,
it's not incrementally slow in the larger picture of
yeah.
absolute freedom. Yeah.
But it's also very joyful in some way. I felt really empty, and I've had years feeling like a sinking feeling that, oh, I'm losing and it's so hard to be nobody and all that. But living with you in person has made me feel, no, it's not all that bad.
It's not
you,
all that
you can have a
bad.
joyful
Being
day.
nobody, going
Like,
nowhere.
you
Very
can have
good.
a
Very
cheesecake.
good. Then we have succeeded. Yeah. Very
So
good.
you really inspired and filled me with so much more joy than before. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
of course, incredibly grateful, and always in tears of gratitude of the opportunity I have with you.
Yeah. But
And
all I'm ever doing is pointing out to all of you that happiness is your nature, you know?
I
It,
know, but you
it,
tolerate a lot.
it what?
You tolerate a lot.
I
The
tolerate a lot. Well, I actually don't.
great.
No.
News.
Those of you like you, Ambika, who have been here intensely for the past few years, Atmananda is another one. You actually know I don't tolerate a lot. I don't tolerate the stories. I don't tolerate your bullshit. I just say, stop it. That's
That,
not who you are. That's not who you are. Stop that. You know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't believe your stories. I keep reminding you that you are the one self. And so this is,
So when once in a while I see and I feel clogged in my heart or I feel overwhelmed, uh, stepping back becomes difficult. Whereas I'm fully aware that I need to step back at this point and I'm still not able to. Is it just my muscle memory?
Well, that's one way of looking at it. I mean, that what you're calling muscle memory in the mind is conditioning or vasana. You see, those are mental states.
Yeah.
So it's like muscle memory.
Hmm.
But the thing is that all of you now have this experience and thus the capacity
Hmm.
to say, this is the real and this is the unreal. The unreal is whatever this shaking is, and the
Hmm.
real is whatever knows that the shaking is going on.
Yeah, true. That's super clear with you. I think sitting with you and all these years, I feel, and I'm more grateful about the trauma and the experiences also now. Uh, I'm no more resenting that I've taken so long. I think I resented that for a long time, that why have I taken 15, 20 years of my life to just be here? And I don't resent that anymore. I see the role of each moment and all the incremental changes as well.
Well, I
There's,
know this is important, yeah, for you. I know this is important for the mind, which you call Ambika.
yeah.
It's important to know these things, but all I'm ever saying to you is, are you here now? I don't care where you've been. I don't care how long it's taken.
Yeah.
And this
That,
is a reflection of what I'm saying to you. It's a gradual path to enlightenment until it's sudden.
yeah.
And once you come into contact with someone who knows what both of those feel like, that it's gradual until it's sudden, and the sudden wipes out the gradual,
Mm, mm,
then
mm.
then there's no one to tell you, stop it. Be
Yeah.
here with me now. You know,
True. True.
you've heard me say so many times, and I say this to so many people who are listening now who've not heard me say it before. If you are sitting in front of me and you have some big story that's unfolding, I will tell you to stop wasting my time and stop wasting your time.
As
You are
well.
here with me now. Be happy. There's nothing else to do. This stops people in their tracks, doesn't it?
Very true.
You know this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
you know
true.
this.
Very well.
It
It
stops
it
people in their
pinches the
tracks.
moment. It is
You
a
are
very,
wasting this moment.
it's
You
really
have you have
painful.
you have
It's a,
1 hour or 1 minute
yeah.
to see yourself, your truth reflected in this mirror.
Hmm.
So how do you want to spend it? Do you want to spend it going over your grievances, going over your trauma? Or do you want to see the face of happiness here now
Hmm.
and see that you are that
Yeah.
and be here in this here now as being consciousness and bliss? Satchitananda. This is your nature. Yeah, so
Thank
this muscle memory that you mentioned, this conditioning or these vasanas that we talk about, this is the way to break this muscle memory.
you.
Is just to keep saying, yeah, okay, good, yeah, please leave me alone for a few minutes so I can just be here,
Hmm.
just be now, just be in the presence of my own being, of happiness, of freedom. Just allow me to be free in this moment.
Yeah.
I'll look after you later, For this moment, allow me to be free, which is what everyone in this room is doing, coming to satsang. You are
Hmm.
actually saying to your life, please leave me alone for an hour or two while I go over here and experience my freedom,
Hmm.
experience the silence, the presence, the awareness, the love, the compassion. the happiness of being here now as the self. This is why we come to satsang. So we can keep saying to our life, yes, I love you, you're beautiful, it's good, but there's this other aspect that I also need to feed. I also need to spend time in this other aspect.
Yeah. I feel the last few conversations with you have also given me this, like put some intense, this energy of having a purpose to life or living a meaningful life, complete rest. Like, um, I realized it today, while I was going through some things from the past, and nowadays I don't talk about it, or I don't share that even with my clients or friends or anybody. And I just noticed that that vasana sort of also to find the purpose or to be a difference in the world, whatever I think I carried for so many years.
Yes,
And
yes,
I've I've spoken to you. I wanted to leave a legacy, and I came from a background of people leaving legacy and stuff. All of that is gone into one box of a vasana, and that is so liberating. That in a very strange way, not in a very familiar way to me. I'm still, I feel acclimatizing to this new weather inside, um, of change. But the bigger purpose or whatever is to now be in this here and now. And that pursuit of that makes it everything. That is everything at this point. But not like a mental concept of purpose, but
yeah,
as a heart calling. Um, very
yes,
restful in nature.
yes.
I feel I've had a very restless pursuit of purpose, and I've
Mhm.
done a lot of work in that way. I feel I did a lot also. It's not, I've done what I wanted. I feel fulfilled also that, yeah, I wanted to do this in life, and I did it also. So I cannot say I didn't do it and I left. But uh, yeah, doing more is coming to a rest. Uh, so I was just evaluating, in this next phase, how I do want to be, what is it that I want. And I felt like I just want more time to just sit, to just exist in this freedom that you spoke
More
about.
time to just be. Don't even say more time to sit, because if you
Mm.
say more time to sit and then it turns out that for a period of time you don't have a lot of time for sitting, then you will feel frustrated. So
Yeah,
so
true.
please just reframe that so that you say more time for being,
More time being.
more
Yeah,
time for awareness, more time for here now, and then whatever's on the screen of awareness will be
yeah,
fine.
will be okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And also
Whether you
people,
are sitting or whether you are not sitting, you will be sitting. You will be in the prior awareness of stillness or presence.
yeah, okay. That would
And if
be,
you have time, and if you say, I want more time for sitting, and that manifests for you, then that's really good. But you're also not limited by that.
yeah, I do feel that that's like now in this moment, but also this changes so frequently.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm open to that being changed as well. And
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, very good, very good.
thank you so much. And I've just been feeling very grateful in the whole day today for you and your presence in my life. Thank you.
Very good, very good. Thank you for sharing. Okay, what happened here? I think I've done something to my screen here. Everybody, please give me a moment. Oh, oh, there you all are. Okay. Thank you for waiting. Oh, Astrid, you want to turn your microphone on?
I hope
Okay.
it's on now.
Yes, it is.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
I'm very grateful to be here, and I I feel very blessed to be in this community every Sunday. It's very beautiful, and I would like to share my simplicity, and my simplicity is to see in all God behind, in every
Yes.
minute, in every conversation,
Yes.
in every feeling. And this is very, very simple. And I was reminded by that in a very beautiful minute this week. I read a book, and I love this book very much. It's In Love with the Divine Mother. It's a book from Ananda Moyma. And
Yes.
it was such a beautiful phrase I wanted to share with all of you, because a devotee asked a question. She simply said, did you really think you would have come here if I did not call you?
Mhm.
So I was reminded so I'm called home in every minute. Who is the one who is called home? Is nobody
Yes.
there.
Yes.
So if
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
called home, I'm no longer somebody,
Yes.
exquisitely everybody, or
Yes. Very much.
everything. And this somebodyness is falling away completely in its changing its nature, because it's much more like being a wave, or being a motion, or being a feather, no longer solid, as I was thinking about a person like Astrid or somebody else. It's really more like a wave, or more like a sound. And
Yeah.
all of the things around me is are turning in that kind of nature, no more solid, just being a wave, or love, or an expression. So for me, it's very simple to remind myself, and doing every time, doing cooking or cleaning the house or being with clients, or it's always God in front of me. So it's just only one of us. So that's my simplicity.
Only one of us. Very beautiful. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
This is the truth. Only one of us.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. Diana, turn on your microphone.
Namaste, dear Rishi. Namaste, dear Sangha. Yes, what you said, the words of simplicity, they resonate very much here, as I mentioned already. And now, in the moment, it goes really very well along with reduction. So much falls away by this simplicity. So much falls away, like jobs and feelings, something more would have to happen, or whatever it is, it's just, it falls away. And the simplicity is this one point, becomes this total one-pointedness to abide in silence, and gets feeded very much, because the silence radiates and has this frequency to really give this total trust in it, that this is the only thing really meaningful. So much meaning falls away in this life. Total freedom of meaning falls away, and this, to stay in the silence, really almost also at night. I'm aware that so often I'm not sleeping. I'm aware that I'm aware, and many hours I'm aware that I'm aware, and it is I feel just grace, and I'm very grateful. That's what I can say.
Yes.
Thank you, Rishi.
Yes. Always together.
Thank you very much.
Yes. You're welcome. Suresh, hello.
Thank you, Rishi. You know, sometimes I feel quite an intense pain of separation. There seems to be some feedback. And then this cool breeze of silence dissolves the pain. And then you feel an opening into peace. And almost wants this cool breeze of silence to be persistent all the time, so that there's just that sense of peace, no sense of feeling separate from that peace. But is that a sort of, and the pain can be quite intense sometimes, you know, when pain of separation comes up. And there's no real logical explanation for it. It's just the longing to dissolve into this vastness of peace, which is very palpable in satsang. And although it's a palpable experience, it's not anything like a sensory experience. You could say it's a non-experience experience, or aparoksha, you know, aparoksha. It's a direct apperception. It's not a sensory perception. So it made a lot of sense to me what you said. There's this gradual melting into one's own nature, into self. And then there's a sudden shift, probably, into the vastness of being. Could you comment on that a little bit? And you know, I'm really happy just being here, but it's nice to talk about these things also.
Yeah. I don't know if I have more to add to what I've already said, other than that's the perception that shows itself. That experience that you're referring to, where you feel this sense of separation, that is not true in the sense that it is a real thing. It's true in the sense that the mind is conditioned to believe that it's separate, and wants to hold on to that sense of specialness or that sense of separateness as a me, right? And so for a long time, it continues to all of the experiences of unity, of oneness, of this deep peace that you refer to. They happen in momentary flashes, and then they are run through the perception of a separate self. But there is a moment, if you keep coming back, as you described, to opening the heart, allowing this cool breeze of truth to flow through the body and mind, there is a moment where it doesn't shift back again. In other words, the experience of that cool breeze of presence doesn't get filtered through the mind again. Every other time before that, it got filtered through the mind. So the mind tells some sort of story about what happened, whether it's about separation or it's the end of separation for a moment. So the mind tells some story about it and quantifies and qualifies all of our experience. But when this happens, there's an immediate knowing that isn't mediated by the mind. And so it doesn't return to a place where the mind needs to explain something to itself about what happened. This is why I refer to it as knowing, because knowing is a pure moment in being. You see, it's not knowledge. Everything that the mind tells us, whether it's about unity or it's about separation, whether it's about oneness or it's about duality, everything the mind tells us about that just disappears in this moment of recognition. It does, and there is no explanation needed. It's understood totally in that moment. And this is why it's referred to as knowing. It's not a knowledge, it's not a knowledge form. And this knowing, in my experience, and also in the experience of others that I've read about or talked to, this knowing doesn't become immediately shareable with others. This knowing is so profound and it's so immediately here that it actually can take many months or a few years even for this knowing to make sense about what happened to the mind so that it can be used to guide other people or explain other people or point the way for other people. So just because you go from this gradual insight after insight after insight, feeling the heart open, feeling the cool breeze of consciousness come and then it's lost again. You go through this gradually. One of the things that happened for me was that when this recognition nothing needed to be explained to the mind or by the mind anymore. There was just this knowing. I had to stop teaching for many years because I didn't have the words for it. It took me a long time to understand what the experience was and what its import was and how it could be. You know, I can't explain to you, no one can explain to you what it means to awaken. There's lots of descriptions, but these are the attempts of all of us to just get you to understand that there is, you are here as being, consciousness, as truth, as awakened being, prior to the moment the mind acknowledges that. And at the moment the mind acknowledges that, all it says is, I have always been that. I have always been being consciousness.